Welcome back to Sunday Pips. This is an update to the video I made this morning showing you my best pairs to trade for next week. These are the pairs I picked. Made a whole video analyzing them and showing you what I'll be waiting for. I just feel like I didn't really go through these pairs, which is why I'm going through them again to see if I missed anything. And by the way, if you haven't seen the video, check it out. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Okay, so this is how this is gonna work. If I don't like a pair, I put it behind gold. If I like it, I put it above this Forex section. Before I get started, I should mention that picking pairs is subjective. The strategy works on all the pairs. It's up to you to determine whether it's good or not. So just remember, the next time you pick a pair, just because somebody else picked it, you're basically going along with their opinion. And if I don't like a pair and that pair is on your watch list, don't feel bad. Your pairs might do better than mine, or my pairs might do better than yours. Who knows? Okay, first up we have USD CHF weekly time frame where bearish price is so low. I think this is the lowest. No, it's not the lowest we have ever been in this market's history. But if we look to the left, there's not a whole lot of data to look at, so I'm not interested. Next up, GBP NZD weekly time frame where bearish, creating the pullback. We're retesting round psychological level 900. Daily time frame bearish, this the lower high, this down here the lower low. 4 hour is bullish. Okay, this pair don't look that bad. I can't wait for the same play that happened right here. I can't wait for it to happen right here. This just needs a little adjusting. Okay, basically I look for the shift of structure on the 1 hour right here, and then I look for my sells. But I don't like how the daily is kind of above the area of interest. Last time something like this happened, price went up right here, created a huge blue candle to the upside, a red candle pullback, and price went up. Blue candle to the upside, red candle pullback, and the price might go up. But if I get the shift of structure right here on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, I will look for sells. So this pair is clean. I'm gonna put it right there. Next up we have AUD CHF weekly time frame bearish, price too low, not a whole lot of data to look at, but I guess you can look for counter trend trades. Whenever price gets to this line, it goes up, higher high. Technically this is not the higher high, this is all market structure, but I guess you understand what I'm saying. You get my point. Whenever we create a high pullback, retest the previous structure point, and this is also not the previous structure point, this is the previous structure point. This is all market structure. Again, high pullback, retest the previous structure point, price goes up, high pullback is retesting the previous structure point. You can look for potential buys somewhere around here, but I am not interested in counter trend trades, so I'm gonna put this to the downside. Next up, USD CAD weekly time frame bearish, creating the pullback, rejecting off of the EMA and retesting. Not really, it's above the round psychological level, so that's not really rejecting. Daily time frame, we are bullish, huge turn off since I'm looking for sells. And what about the 4 hour? 4 hour is bearish. If 4 hour closes under the area of interest like this, right now we are bearish. This the lower high, and this down here the lower low. If 4 hour creates a pullback, if 4 hour drops down and closes under this area of interest and then pulls back to retest round psychological level 500, I guess I could consider sales, but I am not really interested in this pair because on the daily it looks, I don't like how it's consolidating. It's consolidating right here at this area of interest, so I'm gonna put that to the downside. Euro CHF weekly time frame. What is all of this? I don't want to be part of that, so that's trash. CAD CHF weekly time frame too low, not a whole lot of data to look at. Again, you can look for counter trend trades, but I am not interested. AUD NZD weekly time frame, we're creating the pullback to the zone. I need a red candle, a doji, or just a red candle to confirm that we are rejecting this area of interest. But I like how we're rejecting off of round psychological level 9,000. I need for something like this right here to happen. Red candle confirming that we are rejecting this area of interest, and then I wait for the next weekly candle to create a wick into this zone, retesting it, and then right here is where I look for my sells. This wick creates a pullback on the daily time frame, and then I will just try to catch this move to the downside, and that would take several weeks before it happens. So this is not gonna be ready next week. I'm gonna put this to the downside. I guess it might play out, who knows, we might create some huge candle to the downside, but if I'm being realistic, I don't think that will happen. NZD CAD weekly time frame, we are bullish. We closed above the lower high. Let me zoom in. I don't think I can see it. Close above the lower high, shifting bullish, and we're under this area of interest. Is it well respected? Yeah, it kind of is. Whenever price is under, we sell, and whenever we're above, we buy. Daily time frame, consolidating. Don't want to be part of this. My fault, we back. Had to take a quick water break. Yeah, gotta stay hydrated. Next up, we have GBP CAD weekly time frame. We are bullish. This up here, the higher high, and this down here, the higher low. I won't be interested in this pair until price makes it to this area of interest. But I guess you can look for buys, potential buys at this area of interest. You just wait for this to pull back, retest the EMA, retest not around psychological level. If y'all don't know what a round psychological level is, it's basically any number that ends with a 0 or multiple zeros. So 4,000. Wait for this to pull back, retest the EMA, retest round psychological level 4,000, and then you look for buys. Daily time frame is also bullish. This the higher high, and this down here the higher low. Only thing I don't like is that the areas of interest that touches happened way too far back. This is 2014. Look how far back we gotta look just to get the first structure points. That's why I don't like it. But if it pulls to this area of interest, the touches are more recent, which means the area of interest will most likely be more respected. So until price pulls back right here, I will not be interested. GBP USD weekly time frame created a huge move to the upside, and we are now stopping at this area of interest, retesting round psychological level 500. Whenever we're under this area of interest, we sell. Daily time frame, I am not interested. I don't want to be part of whatever this is. Don't want to catch loss for no reasons. Next up, GBP JPY weekly time frame. We are bearish, created a doji with a huge wick to the upside. Don't like how price is under or above my area of interest. Let me see what's going on the daily time frame. We're bullish, lower high, lower low, market structure, close above the lower high, shifting bullish. Now we're creating a pullback to this zone. I guess you can look for buys since daily is bullish. And what about 4 hour? 4 hour is bearish, so buys are out of the picture. You gotta go with the trend. 2 time frames are going down, so you look for sales. Weekly is bearish and 4 hour is bearish. Daily is going up. Taking a buy right now or looking for buys will be bad because you only have 1 time frame confirming your bias to go up. Only that daily is bullish. If you want to look for buys, wait for 4 hour to shift structure, shifting bullish, so you have 2 time frames in sync, and then you look for your buys. And what about sales? Sales, I won't be interested until price closes under this area of interest like this. I will wait for weekly time frame to create a bearish candle under this area of interest, and then I'm gonna wait for the next candle to create a small wick into this zone. This wick will create a pullback on the daily time frame, and then right here is where I will look for my sales to the downside. Until that happens, I am not interested. NZD, CHF, price too low, no data, easy. Euro, AUD, price too high, no data, too easy. Wait, let me see if I can look for counter trend trades. Whenever price gets to this line, we go down. I guess you can catch potential sales right here, but I am not interested in counter trend trades. NZD, USD, weekly time frame, we're bullish. We closed above the lower high, shifting bullish. This was the lower low and this was the lower high. Close above it, shifting bullish. Now we're creating a pullback, rejecting off of the EMA and around psychological level 900. We're really not rejecting, and we're not really rejecting the round psychological level since the candle kind of closed under the line. Let me see what's going on the daily time frame. We are bearish. This the lower high, this down here the lower low. What about 4 hour? 4 hour is bullish. So weekly bullish and 4 hour bullish buys. Guess I can't wait for 4 hour to close above this. Wait for something like this. 4 hour closes above this small area of interest, because whenever price is under, and I guess whenever price is under, it just goes through it, and whenever we're above it, it goes up. The reason why I want this to close above is because on the 1 hour, whenever price is under, we sell, and whenever we're above, we buy. So it's not a good idea to buy straight into this area of interest. The best thing you can do is wait for this to close above the area first, and then wait for a pullback, then you look for your buys. Let me see if there's potential sales in here. Let me just remove this area of interest first. Let me see how that looks. No, I'm not interested in sales. That looks trash. Euro USD weekly time frame, we are bullish, creating the pullback under the weekly area of interest. Daily time frame, bearish, lower high, lower low. Love these dojis we're creating under the area of interest. I guess I can look for potential sales. Let me just remove this area of interest. Let me see how that looks. Okay, this isn't bad. Whenever price is under this zone, we get to this area of interest. Whenever we're under, we make it to this zone. We're under, we make it. And right now we're under, but price close above the area of interest first. Let me look for an example where price closed above this area of interest and then was under it. Let me see what happened. Oh, another thing, if you're ever confused on what to wait for at your area of interest, just look back. You will probably see the perfect example. See, perfect example right here. We closed above the area of interest, created a red candle under the area of interest. The next candle created a wick pullback, and then we sold. If this happens right here, that will be easy sales. If the next weekly candle creates a wick pullback into the zone like this and then have the move to the downside, easy sales. Let me see the 4 hour. 4 hour, we are bearish, perfect for sales. We have two time frames in sync. We have the daily and the 4 hour going down. I will wait for this to pull back to the zone like this and maybe retest the EMA and around psychological level 2000, and then look for sales. Take profit will be placed at this second area of interest, because that's where I expect for price to probably reverse from. Very easy. So I'm gonna put this to my list too. GBP CHF weekly time frame, not respecting my areas of interest. It's just going right through it. Not interested. Big red flag. NZD JPY weekly time frame, we're bullish. Close above the previous structure point. created a pin bar with a huge wick to the upside. Maybe the next weekly candle can fill it. Let me see how the daily looks. Daily, we are bullish, rejecting the EMA. Let me see if there's a round psychological level in here. Yeah, we have round psychological level 500. What about the 4 hour? 4 hour is bearish. That's a huge turnoff. But since we have weekly and daily bullish, I guess we don't need the 4 hour to be bullish too. But I will not be interested in buys until 4 hour closes above this zone. I will wait for this to close above the area of interest first, like this, pull back, and then I look for my buys. Whenever price is under this zone, we sell, we sell, we sell, we sell, we sell, we sell. So it's not a good idea to buy straight into this area of interest. But is it good enough to be added to my watch list? Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. I'm gonna leave it right here just in case. Sheesh, can't record a video in peace. How to go to school for graduation related stuff. But we are back. AUD JPY weekly time frame were bearish, creating dojis and pin bars at this area of interest. This shows we are rejecting the zone and slowing down. And even better, we are retesting the previous structure point. Daily time frame is bullish. This was the lower high. This down here was the lower low. Closed above the lower high, shifting bullish, and then we created a clean pullback into the zone, and then we created a beautiful doji rejecting the EMA. Potential buys, yes, if 4 hour is bullish and 4 hour is bearish. Huge turn off. The only way to look for buys is if 4 hour creates a new lower low and then closes above the lower high, shifting bullish, and then wait for a pullback and then look for buys. And what a coincidence, the EMA will probably be somewhere around here and then be used as support. Extra confluence, extra reason to take the trade up. And what about sales? Since the trend is down, most of the time frames are going down. The only way to look for sales on this pair is if weekly time frame creates a bearish candle like this, closing under this area of interest, and then the next candle creates a wick pullback and then has the move to the downside. This wick right here creates a pullback on the daily time frame, and then I'll look for my sales right here. Let me see if there's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Okay, right here. Not the exact same thing I'm talking about, but kind of the same. Weekly creates a doji under the area of interest. Next candle has a pullback. This candle I bet created a pullback on the daily time frame, and then the next candle had the move to the downside. I am expecting for this to happen with just 2 candles. I'm expecting for this second candle after the first candle closes under to just create a wick and then have the move to the downside. I guess it's a little confusing, but you will get it over time. So since this will take several weeks to happen, it could happen in just 1 week. We could create some huge candle like this, and then I don't know, retrace, creating the pullback, and then goes back down. But if I'm being realistic, I don't think this will happen in just 1 week, which is why I will put this to the downside. AUD CAD weekly time frame created so many blue candles just to get to this area of interest. I mean, how else would he get to this area of interest? He can't get here by creating red candles. What am I talking about? And we're rejecting round psychological level 500. I will not be interested in this pair until weekly creates a bearish engulfing candle like this to confirm that we are rejecting this area of interest. We created a doji, a pin bar. I don't know what it is. This right here shows that we are slowing down since the candles are getting smaller and smaller, but it does not show that we are rejecting this area of interest. I will not be interested until we get this red candle. But it's also awesome that we are rejecting off of the previous structure point. Extra confluence to take the trade to the downside. Next up, we have Euro JPY. Bro, what is this? Weekly has been in this consolidation for how many days? 56 days. I do not want to be part of this. Let me see what the daily is doing. Daily time frame, I guess you can look for buys. Is weekly bullish? Yes, weekly is bullish. Closed above the lower high. Closed above it. I don't know. I don't think I can see it. Let me zoom in. Closed above the line, shifting bullish. And daily is also bullish. Only problem is price doesn't seem to respect this area of interest. Whenever we come from above, price just goes right through it, goes through it, goes through it, goes through it. Doesn't really respect it. And what about the 4 hour? And 4 hour, whenever price is inside this zone, we go back down, we go down, we go down. If you're looking for buys, I will suggest you wait for this to close above this area of interest first, and then wait for the pullback. This pair is trash, but if you are looking for buys, this is the best thing to wait for. You don't want to buy into an area that price is obviously rejecting every time it gets there. But I am not interested in this pair. AUD USD weekly time frame, we're bullish, created a doji with a huge wick to the upside. What about the daily time frame? We are bearish, but we understand why we are bearish on the daily time frame. Daily went bearish to create this small pullback on the weekly time frame. And what about the 4 hour? 4 hour is bullish, so that means we have weekly and 4 hour bearish. I guess if you count this as the higher low, then 4 hour is bearish. If you don't, then 4 hour is bullish. But either way, if you're looking for buys, you gotta wait for this to close above this zone first, and then have the pullback, and then you look for your buys. Why do you must wait for this to close above this area of interest first? Because whenever price is under, we sell, we sell, we sell, we sell, we sell. Very easy. But I am not interested in this pair. And what about sales? Let me see. Yeah, sales don't look clean either. I am not interested. CHF JPY weekly time frame, bullish, rejecting round psychological level 700. We're at the second area of interest now. Daily time frame, we're bullish. This the higher high, this down here the higher low, and doesn't look clean. It looks like we're consolidating, but at the same time we are not. I am not interested. Don't want to be part of that. USD JPY weekly time frame, we are bearish. Lower high, lower low. Weekly time frame, we're bearish. Daily, we are bullish. And what about 4 hour? 4 hour, we are bearish. This is just all over the place. I am not interested. But I do love this clean head and shoulders we created on the 4 hour. That looks clean. Nice. And I guess we can do gold too. The strategy works on everything. It works on gold, works on stocks. Just love trading pairs though. Let me see gold weekly. But this is the problem with gold. Gold, we're so high up. There's no ways to even identify areas of interest. Normally, I look at a pair and go, okay, whenever price gets here, we buy, we buy, we buy. We have several touches at this zone, so it's a valid area of interest. And we look at gold. Where is your structure points to identify areas of interest? There is none. And what about daily? Daily is bearish. We only have one structure point. We need a minimum of 3 structure points to make our area of interest valid. We need a minimum of 3 touches. And right now we only have 1 touch on my area of interest. And 4 hour is bearish. I guess if you were to look for something, it will be sales, since most of the time frames are going down. Daily is bearish and 4 hour is bearish. I guess you wait for this to pull back to the zone, shift the structure on the lower time frames, and then you look for your sales. The chances of this happening though pretty low, since the areas of interest are not valid. That's why I don't like gold. But it could have been predictable when we were down here, since right here you could actually mark valid areas of interest, 1, 2, 3 touches. But now we're so high up, there's not a whole lot of past price action to look at. Yeah, that's the last thing. I was about to say pair, but I just realized I'm on gold. That's the last thing on my list. So peace.